In this episode of Super Seicento, we're going to be fixing a mistake that might, just might, have got me killed. Hello YouTube, Miller Connor here, welcome back to Super Seicento, and today we're going to be fixing a mistake I made in the previous episode, because if you did watch it, you'll see that I was putting these 10mm slide-on wheel spacers onto my car. You will note if you watched the episode quite what a faff it was to actually get these things to fit on the car and to stay on the car, and the reason for that is I bought the wrong ones. I had various people email me, message me and comment on the video after I uploaded the last one to say that these are the wrong spacers for the type of car I have, because these are what's called slide-on spacers. These are designed for cars that use studs on the hub that poke out, and then you slide the wheel over them and tighten nuts down onto them. If you put these onto a car that uses wheel bolts, because of the way these are designed, if you do put them on with no part of the hub for the wheel to hook on, you're putting the entire weight of the wheel and indeed the car on the wheel bolts. Now, I did take the time to buy some good quality wheel bolts, but that still won't necessarily stop them from, with the whole weight of the car on them, potentially snapping. And I don't need to tell you why wheel bolts shearing when you're driving along would be a bad thing, which means these had to come off, which is why you probably noticed in the I organised a car meet in 5 hours video, my car didn't look very spaced, and that's because by that point the spacers had come off, because frankly, as much as I like the spaced out look, I like my wheels being attached to the car a little bit more. So these are going in the bin, and I am going to be replacing them because I've taken the liberty of investing in these. These are what's called hub-centric wheel spacers. Now, the way these work is they go over the hub just like the old ones do, but these ones have got, as you can probably see there, the extra bit sticking out, the kind of hub replacement, if you like, for the wheel to hook over. It's still got the 4x98 stud pattern that my car uses, so the bolts will be able to go through it, but there's a bit more to these than these crappy cheap ones that I put on last time. You can just see there quite what a difference between them there is. So these ones are more substantial, they've got the bit for the wheel to hook onto, and it means that hopefully, just hopefully, my wheel won't be falling off while I'm driving along. Hub-centric spacers are the way to go if you've got a car with wheel bolts, and frankly if you value your safety. So without much ado, let's get my car spaced out again by heading to the workshop.
Once in the workshop and with the car up on the ramp, we begin by slotting a spacer into the rear wheel, into which it clips perfectly. To make sure the spacer fits flush, I then remove the bolt that locates the drum, and the wheel spacer combo then fits over it. We checked how much bolt thread is needed to secure the wheel with the standard bolts, and even with 6mm thicker spacers, the extended bolts that I bought for the previous spacers are plenty long enough. The first spacer is on, and from the rear the extra poke looks awesome. Next, it's onto the first front wheel, and in order to make it fit flush, we remove the 2 locating bolts from the brake disc. All the bolts do is locate it, it doesn't fall off, look, because the caliper holds it there. Fall off, can it? Exactly, so that bolt is only there to locate the disc onto the hub. Once the caliper and the carrier are on, and they're holding the disc in place, it can't just fall off, so there's no need for them. Now the bolts are off, the spacers fit flush, and the first front wheel can be secured with the also satisfying rattle gun. With the steering lock checked and confirmed to be absolutely fine without hitting anything, it's then onto the other side where the disc bolts are removed, the spacer locked onto the wheel, and the whole thing bolted in place. Remember to tighten the bolts down opposite to each other to secure them down properly. Steering lock checked, the front wheels are finished, and it's then a matter of the other rear wheel, where it's a simple case of spacer locked onto the wheel, bolt removed from the drum, and wheel bolted on. With the last of the spacers secured, we are done. We've gone from this to this.
So there we have it, 16mm hub-centric wheel spacers are now on the Super Seicento, and how good does it look, right? The extra 6mm over the previous spacers push the wheels out just that a little bit further and give it an even more aggressive and purposeful stance to it. Now, I fully admit that the problems with the previous spacers were entirely my fault. I didn't do the right research, I didn't speak to enough people, and if they stayed on the car much longer, it might have been a bit more than just my dignity that had been harmed. But the important thing is they came off, and now we've got some proper but substantial hub-centric spacers on the car that are correct for the way the wheels are attached, and it looks so good for it. These new spacers did cost a fair bit more than what the original ones did, but I have to say they're worth every single penny, predominantly because it doesn't feel like you could break them with your bare hands. And given they're being held on by the centre of the wheels themselves, they ain't gonna fall off or break anytime soon. Get the right spacers for your car, get the right type of spacers, and buy good quality ones and good quality bolts or studs to support them, and you will not regret putting wheel spacers on your car. Anyway, thanks very much for watching the video, everybody. If you did enjoy it, give it a big old thumbs up, and also subscribe and hit the bell icon so you are notified when a new Miller Corner video is released. But for now, thanks once again for watching, everybody, and have a brilliant rest of your day. See you soon, and have a good one.
Want to hear me talk about cars without having to look at my mug? Well, you're in luck, because I recently appeared on the James & James vs. the World podcast, run by the guys over at the JM on Cars YouTube channel. We spent over an hour and a half talking about what cars we'd buy for the cost of some paint on the AMG GTR. We discuss ridiculous insurance prices, cars within the budget, and I do, as always, find a way to talk about the Honda S2000. It's a great listen, and the link's in the description. Check it out.